15 million people in Ontario are soon going to get a $200 check in the mail.
Today, I am pleased to announce, as part of our fall economic statement, our government will provide every Ontario taxpayer a $200 tax-free rebate. And because we know kids come with more expenses, parents will receive an additional $200 for every eligible child.
So this plan will cost the government $3 billion, but Premier Doug Ford says it's necessary because people are struggling, which is true because grocery prices and things are still high. There is speculation, though, that Ford is gearing up to call an early election next year after those checks roll out. And a reporter had this question for the Premier.
Are you trying to buy Ontarians' votes with this $200?
Well, Richard, I got to laugh when you ask me these questions. But anyways, we've done this from day one. 6 years ago when we started to put money back into people's pockets. These are tax dollars going back to taxpayers that are struggling right now.
So, Emily, nothing to do with an election coming in the first quarter of next year? What do you think?
This is very ethically tricky, and this is not the first time Doug Ford has pulled up tricks like this out of his hat. What we know is that other premiers have done that also in the past, rebates, and it's tricky in the sense that there might be a very short reward for this, but the money does run out very fast, especially because of the cost of living right now. And so you're left with nothing left very soon, and then the issue is all over all over again, and people have a short memory, and so it depends how fast he wants that election. But people will have forgotten about the check, but they won't necessarily be the opposition parties don't necessarily let you forget about what else you could have done with that same amount of money to invest in schools, to invest in healthcare, to invest in all those other things that provinces are responsible for. And so on the long term, what I've seen in other provinces, that those kinds of rebates tend to backfire, and people do tend to read them as populist moves. But we'll see how it goes in Ontario.
Kate, it is an interesting move, and this windfall is made available partly because of the capital gains changes the federal government is making, because the provinces benefit from that as well. But with all of the stuff you hear about hospitals and doctor shortages in Ontario to go this route, do you think there's a risk in this choice?
Well, I think, there has been significant investment into healthcare. I'm not saying it's enough, but 30% increase since 2018. They've added something like 80,000 nurses since coming to power 6 years ago. I think more work needs to be done there for sure. And as a Conservative, I would prefer to just have lower taxes at source rather than a rebate that has gone through the government's hands in the first place. But what this is really effective at doing is creating contrast, because this is it builds on Ford's brand as providing little bits of relief where he can. He did that with the license plate stickers. He did that with the gas tax pause. And so he is meeting Ontarians' affordability concerns. And I'm not hearing anything other than just complaining about what Doug Ford is doing from Bonnie Crombie. They are going to have to get much, much sharper on what they want to run on. Maybe it is healthcare, but just running against Doug Ford based on the public opinion data is not going to do it. And taxpayers are going to like this. Right. So they need to either say why it's a problem because they're not investing elsewhere and talk about what they would do in order to make that connection for voters, because otherwise I think Ford's going to run away with it whenever this next election is.
Okay, we're tight on time. Françoise, your quick thoughts on this one.
Very quickly, not much to add to what Emily was saying. I was just going to give the example of Quebec. Premier François Legault did that during the last campaign, promised $400 to $600 to every Quebecers. It was very popular, and that was during the campaign. They won handily 90 seats over 100 of 125. 2 years later, people have forgotten. He's low in the ratings. Can't necessarily compare with Ontario, though, because they don't have as strong of opposition parties. So maybe feel at ease, and it's on brand, like Kate is saying. But it's a dangerous game of trying to, if that was the intention, to do the old politics, and the reward is slim to none.
Amanda, you live in the GTA. Doug Ford sign on your lawn for the $200 and that election comes in the spring. How do you think this plays?
What do you think, David? Listen, this is what if the theme of this panel has been mocking, then I'm going to go into full mock on Doug Ford. Is anyone taking this actually serious? He talks about it as helping struggling Ontarians. He talks about this as an affordability gift, and yet it's not means tested. It's going to every Ontarian. Multi-millionaires are going to get this $200 check. It's embarrassing. It is absolutely a bribe. It is totally a gimmick.
Like the
and
National
it's the
Daycare
signal
Program.
that an election is around the corner.
Okay, and look, just on the mocking thing, just to say that I want to be talking to these MPs. Just to close the loop on this, they have had a daily invitation. We can take 4 people here on the set. I've given that invitation to them for a week. They have not come on. This is why I am frustrated. Come voice your argument in public and have a conversation. I'll give you 30 minutes.
It's not mocking the motivation.
No, it's just I want to have the conversation, and it should happen if you're going to drive the news agenda for this long. I want to thank you all for being here and talking in person. Emily Nicola, Amanda Alvaro, Francoise Boivin, and Kate Harrison. Appreciate it.